hope that they feel that they are not alone, whether they're current students or they're alumni, that if they felt excluded from certain parts of Yale because of their background, that with this conference they realize that they are very much included and they are very much a part of the Yale community.
My journey to here was because of people who chose to say something or to dare me to do something. My calculus AP teacher was the person who said, "You're the girl who's going to leave Boston Chinatown." And he bought me a bus ticket to New Haven, and he dared me to get on the bus and come to New Haven. And if I still wanted to make the life choices that at 18 years old I thought I could make, he would be okay with that. And he knew that this was the place for me.
1stGenYale is a nonprofit now, but it supports that entire community of students who are the first in their families to go to college.
1stGen creates a cohort of ambassadors who can continue to steer students our way, talented, gifted, wonderful, hardworking students who really would benefit from a Yale education, but don't think Yale is their place. They meet the alumni of 1stGen and they can see themselves projected out a few years and recognize that Yale is their place just as much as it's anyone else's.
In 1stGenYale, we have found a place where we can be honest with ourselves and with each other about who we are, what we experienced in college, and what we want our lives to be like afterward. We inspire each other, we connect with each other, we share these stories to build each other up, to move each other forward, and also to give back to the current generation of students so that they may have a somewhat easier time than we did.
Take advantage of today and make the most out of it. What you put in today's conference will be what you get out of it and what others get out of it.
You are helping us be the best we can be, and you're making a difference here at Yale with fellow alumni, with current students, and members of the communities where we all live and work. Your stories change lives. Doesn't get better than this.
I don't even have to tell these stories. You are these stories.
It's great to see all of you. Thank you for coming back to campus. Thank you for forming community and being a community that extends the boundaries of our campus, as well as support for each other, as well as change agents for this community.
It also showcases the talent of our Yale students who bring their Yale education out into the workforce and are doing their part to improve the world.
The biggest benefit is the students. They're Yale students. They're excellent, they're driven, they're curious, they're passionate, they're professional.
Especially in a place where there's a lot of privilege, there's an assumption that just because you're there, you have access and you know. And you definitely have access, but you don't know. And 1stGen is a great way to actually actively allow people to bring this into the community.
Yale is such a special place. You know, when you come to Yale, you come to a family, you come to an institution that loves you.
The part that binds us together is that something like this is new, right? And we didn't quite have the help that others might have had to get there, and that we are now providing to others. And so that's huge.
1stGenYale is important because Yale has a lasting legacy, and I personally believe that the organization has a lot of initiatives that directly impact students and make sure that they are getting the support they need to be successful during Yale and after graduation.
It's an important way to connect with people who experience some of the same pressures. Everyone has a different life and a different life experience, but to have colleagues who you can talk to and not have to explain so much context, or to even hear somebody talk about their specific context and hear elements that you haven't shared with other Yaleys because you never felt like you were in the presence of another one who shared that experience.
One thing I think that's really a theme throughout our meetings here today is empowerment, a renewed sense of excitement, doubling down on wanting to take the opportunity we've been given here at Yale and run with it.
I think 1stGen Yale is a heart project, really. It is alumni of Yale, graduate schools, professional schools, college, who've come together because we were first generation, or the first in our families to attend college or professional school. And it's our heart project. We want to support other students. We want to support them as they navigate through Yale. We want to support them as they navigate through their careers. And that's what 1stGen Yale does.
1stGen and really focusing on supporting individuals from these backgrounds is vital to creating the diversity, equity, and inclusion that we want to see in places like Yale.
I want them to be inspired by the people they met, the stories they heard, what they gave of themselves to the conference, what they shared with the others, and that we've all changed. We've all changed from going through this experience for the better. We've come up with other ways to help the current student body at Yale across the campus, undergraduate and graduate professional students. We figured out other ways to help fellow alumni succeed. That's what I really hope. And I hope people come back with the feeling of, I'm really glad I came. This is a new beginning for me. I want to do more with 1stGen Yale. I like reconnecting back to Yale. I want to do more for Yale. And I'm going to work together to see if I can make that happen.
For me personally, I'd want them to feel like I have a community. That I have a community that's beyond just my year, and that I have a community that goes before me and goes after me. And the call to action for me was to sort of like, for me personally, would be like, how can I help other people in this scenario?
To change the world and make it a better place, to give people opportunities that they otherwise would not have, and to develop character and to make people the best versions of themselves that they can be, so that they can use the person that they are and that the person that they become to help others and change the world.
I grew up in LA, like LAUSD, center of LA, downtown LA, and I didn't have any like Caucasian white people in my school except for maybe some teachers. It was 75% Latino, 25%, maybe 70% immigrant. I had no idea how to walk into a place like Yale. And I just felt really like out of place.
But the core thing that we have access to is kind of remembering that journey and remembering how far you've come.
Like, I always knew that everybody in my family, everyone around me, they were so supportive and they were brilliant. They still are, but they just didn't have the opportunities. And so that really propelled me to work that much harder.
It's okay to be vulnerable, because for those of us who have built our lives, we're eager to help you, but we wouldn't know if you don't come to us and tell us what you need. So I think being vulnerable helped me, and and sharing with people your dream and what you need can help you get the help you need.
The thing about networking is all about relationships. It's about connections, right? At the core of it, it's getting to find a commonality with somebody. And sometimes those relationships lead to fruitful things like jobs or internships, access, or just a friend, or a relationship, or who knows, right?
Your 1stGen identity is a strength, and that it is something to lean into, and that it is something to take up space with. Partly because there are people in my field, for example, who are 1stGen but only identified as that to me in private conversation. And so it's not like 1stGen people aren't here. It's not like 1stGen people aren't making an impact. It's that we're not seeing each other. And so it's really important for me to make that visible.
We know that are folks that have had a lot of shared experience, and when you relate to one another from that shared background, that you're talking to folks who will understand.
The power of coming together is moving forward, putting the past behind, but understanding what the past was, and being able to bring people who are going through it for the first time to know that anything is possible.
I hope that the takeaway from the First Generation Conference is around this shared experience that we have and how that actually can propel us to even greater levels of success and belonging. Through shared experiences, I think there's enormous growth when you see others going through different experiences, but some of which can build on your own. And with that sort of familial environment, I think brings a sense of comfort that we've been through the same and we will make the same successes out of it. So I hope that's the big takeaway.
So I would say the best thing to do, have a positive attitude and be on alert. You will be tested somewhere. Answer the call and don't forget where you came from.
We need your help. If you have an idea for a program or something you want to do, call me up, call Barb, call Michael. We want you to run the program. We will support you, and we don't want you to say, Lisa, can you do this? No. We're going to say, we want, it's your idea, you own it, we're going to help you do it.
Look at what a little bit of opportunity can do, right? We heard from the former CEO of Pepsi earlier, and those challenges that she overcame, and look at where she is now. Look at where all the leaders in this room are now, and what helped everybody get to those points where they are giving back, and they are leading, and they're being bosses, and they're having an impact, was the opportunity. If they didn't have that opportunity, probably wouldn't be where they are now. And so this isn't about just talking about barriers, but it's really breaking those down, right? The whole theme of the conference. We may have been the first, but we're not going to be the last.